A very good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Today we will be focusing on the South-South region. But before we get into that, let's take a look at national news making headlines. Troops of 6th Brigade Nigerian Army Sector 3 Operation Wellstroke, in conjunction with other security agencies, have busted and arrested 10 kidnapped suspects in multiple operations in Taraba State. This is contained in a press statement by Captain Oni Olubodonde, Acting Assistant Director, 6th Brigade Army Public Relations. The operations, according to the statement, were conducted with precision and professionalism after a tip-off from a credible source. The operation took place in Galeri and Kondo villages of Ardo, Kola and Bali local government areas. The Lagos State government has announced that the Red Line Rail operation will commence by the end of third quarter 2024. This was announced by the Director of Rail Transport from the State Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Mr. Olusokanmi Okunsaga, during a media parley organized by the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation. Mr. Okunsaga says the train trial test run has commenced and passengers' operation will kick off fully by end of September.
As we all know, the rail was commissioned about a few months ago, and everybody has been asking us, when are you expecting to commence the train operation? And as we said during the commissioning of the Red Line, we said that is commission of a completed fixed infrastructure, that the operation is going to mirror exactly what we did on the Blue Line, which comprises about 3 phases. Phase 1 is to test all the system integration. Then from there we move into trial run. That means testing the rolling stock, using some sandbags and all that, and then carrying passengers. And the third phase is moving to full passenger operation. Yeah, we plan that to commence within 3 months, but a bit of one thing or the other. But I can categorically say to you now that we've completed the test run, which the rolling stock is fit for purpose, and we've commenced the trial run today. We have the planned full passenger operation is going to be end of Q3, so that is end of September. But at the same time, as I said it to the public now, we still have to understand that there might be 1 or 2 things. But with what they say so far, we can say we are 99% ready, subject to final certification for the independent consultant that we engaged.
We start off in Delta State, where women of Okerenkoko community in Warri Southwest local government area of the state are lamenting the lack of electricity in their community for over 12 years. Given a 2-day ultimatum to management of Nigerian Petroleum Development Company and Nekonde companies who are currently operating within their community, they demand that they be immediately connected to the turbine electricity or they shut down activities at the flow station. The women of the host community made their demand during a protest at the OML 42 Jones Creek Flow Station.
Darkness hovering around Okerenkoko community in Warri Southwest local government area of Delta State, with the solar street lights and flames from a cooking fire being the only supply of illumination. This has been the situation of the community for many years now, as residents lament what it has been like for them having to live without electricity supply for many years, despite playing host to companies involved in the business of oil and gas exploration activities.
We need their lights, the turbine from them. Since past some 7 to 8 years, they tell us say they go bring them. We don't wait tire. They not agree bring them.
As you see, so they cook for people who did that side though, so that they go feel eat. If we not bring the lights this month, we dey come up for us. Now 2 years old, we are there. 3 years old, we did there.
Tired of this condition, the women in the community picket the premises of the OML 42 Jones Creek Flow Station, insisting they will not leave until power is restored in the community.
What make us come here? Not be other thing, now because of light. Our turbine not reach our community here, Karankoko. Darkness now we day for all these plenty years. Yes. Not be so. No.
I don't reach Makodi. Your need to fall for night, you go fit pick am. But go to Ekrenkoko now. Darkness. Christmas, they are the grand pepper when the lights go. Since then, we never see light. So our major aim of coming this place, we need light. 3 days from now, if we not see the lights, nobody go walk here. Shut down everywhere, and we go deal with you now.
Some management staff who were available at the protest ground received the protesters but declined to speak on the matter. Okerenkoko community is host community to OML 42, Jones Creek Flow Station, and also to the Maritime University. The community has been without electricity for more than 12 years. Perhaps this may be the time to take seriously the Petroleum Industry Act, which they believe will help meet the basic needs of host communities like theirs.
Over in Edo State, the People's Democratic Party, PDP's candidate in the September 21st governorship election, Asue Ighodalo, says he has faith in Nigeria's justice system, even as the police are yet to bring to book the perpetrators of last Thursday's shooting at Airport Road. Mr. Ighodalo gave this assessment at his campaign office in Benin City, the Edo State capital, shortly after a meeting with a delegation from the European Union. He said the discussions with the EU team centered on preparations towards the Edo governorship election, which, according to him, is very much on course.
They come to look at the landscape for the sub-national election that we're having on the 21st in Edo State. So just want to ensure that things are going on well, as a free and fair environment, a transparent environment, an unbiased environment, a level playing field. So we just had a frank exchange of views. I think the police will have to investigate the process. And, what we try to do is to stay on the issues and to be fair, to keep an open mind. We think that with the evidence before the police, they don't have a choice but to conduct an effective investigation, and they will do so. We don't have any reason not to believe they won't do so. All of you saw the TV footage. You saw the people that were carrying AK-47s, pump action. They know them. It's clear. It's evidence in plain sight. So, that some of those people are still walking the streets amazes me. But we have confidence, and, you have to have confidence in your process until your process proves you wrong. So it's just 6-7 days. Maybe they are taking their time, but we're sure they'll get to it, because it's evidence in plain sight. You saw the people carrying guns, and there are some things that you saw through that process from the airport down to all the places people went to that don't make sense to the right-thinking person. But we still have faith that something positive will come out of this process.
Travelers who use the Port Harcourt International Airport are being assured of the competence of emergency responders to handle any unforeseen circumstances that may occur at the airport. This assurance was given at the airport by the airport manager on the sideline of an airport emergency responders meeting, which was attended by various stakeholders in the aviation space. Speaking exclusively to our correspondent, the Port Harcourt International Airport manager reassured that the responders are equipped to handle any issues that may arise with their flagship Boeing 747 aircraft.
We've just called emergency planning committee meeting in fulfillment of our regulatory requirements that we meet to plan for an emergency. Emergency does not give notice, it happens. And at the airports, the regulations require that we have what we call airport emergency plan and procedures. This plan must be in accordance with our airport aircraft operations. And the critical aircraft for the airport is Boeing 747-400 series. So the plan is made to be commensurate with the aircraft operations.
The airport, Port Harcourt International Airport, is preparing to conduct a full-scale emergency exercise in the airport, taking cognizance of our critical aircraft, which is Boeing 747-400 series. The aim or the purpose of the meeting is for the stakeholders to be abreast with their responsibilities in an emergency situation, and for them to also know exactly where to be, or where the first point of call at the airport when they are coming to respond to an emergency.
Still in River State, the Nigerian Labour Congress in the state and the River State government are encouraging youths in the state to gain employable skills instead of protesting against companies for jobs they may not be qualified for. The NLC State's Chairman, Alex Agwano, and the representative of the state government stated this during a launch of a 10-day skill training program organized by the Labour Union in collaboration with the Safety Training Institute in Port Harcourt. The union and the government are worried that incessant protests in demand for jobs that the youths may not be qualified for can scare companies from operating in the state.
This is not the usual negotiation meeting between labor leaders, government officials and company representatives. Instead, the River State Council of the Nigeria Labour Congress is initiating a training program aimed at reducing conflicts between communities and corporate organizations by equipping youths with employability skills. Because the NLC believes that many of the youths protesting against companies over employment issues lack the necessary skills that are in high demand, leading to a repeated cycle of rejections by the company and protests by the communities.
We believe that if our people are not empowered with skill, they cannot be employed. There are many job opportunities today in Nigeria, but people lack opportunity because they don't have the certification, they don't have the skill.
In 10 days, these youths will be trained in specific skills such as cybersecurity, health, safety and environment, helicopter landing protocols, and more.
We trust that this training will bridge the skills gap, boost confidence, foster entrepreneurship, enhance competitiveness, and break the poverty cycle that in the country right now.
The River State government shares in the vision and commends the NLC for the initiative. Governor Simlai Fubara, represented by the State Head of Service, Dr. George Mweke, advises the youths against protests, which he says may drive companies out of the state.
Let me tell you, no one loves anyone. What they love is the service that you can provide. So if we don't have any service to provide, no matter the protest, highest they will live here for us. And that is how we have gradually lost many good companies by our protest. I think this is a better way of protesting and protecting our chances. This training program is a bridge that's going to connect us to those juicy positions that have hitherto been losing out.
The NLC in River State hopes to maintain this partnership with the private company providing the technical services to allow more youths access these training opportunities at extremely subsidized rates.
Still ahead, we'll bring you some development from Cross River State. Stay with us. Welcome back. Governor Basi Otu of Cross River State has announced that the state-owned pharmaceutical company Calafarm, established by his predecessor, Professor Ben Ayade, will soon be operational. Speaking after inspecting the factory in Calabar, the state capital, Governor Otu expressed his satisfaction with the high-quality machinery and facilities in the factory. The governor described Calafarm as one of the premier pharmaceutical companies in West Africa, with a top-tier laboratory that is among the best in Nigeria.
So I came here actually on a fact-finding mission to find out what actually is the problem, whether they do need facilitation or support in any way, and so on. But the gentleman in charge of the facility has said they are looking at September. We have one of the best in West Africa here. The lab is one of the best you can talk of in Nigeria, and all the facilities in place. They're just waiting for NAFDAC final inspection, and then production should start here very soon. This is kudos to Senator Ayade, who had that vision and put this in place. Today, if we want to put this thing, I know the cost of what it will be because of the inflation and other economic trends that have come in. But we thank God that we have a big facility here, and it's a top-class one. So we are looking at it coming into production very, very soon. To rejig has been our health sector. And because we've putting our health insurance in place, we want to make sure that all other things, consumables that will be needed, both in terms of dispensing and preventive, we all have them in stock. So from our discussions here, I think we are ready to go.
In order to tackle the growing rate of food insecurity across the nation, the federal government has launched the domestication of women's economic empowerment in Cross River State. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagement, Gift Jumbo, explained that the scheme will support about 25 new cooperatives and strengthen over 50 existing ones with an investment of 5 million naira.
This initiative is designed to empower women and youth economically by leveraging on our region's agricultural potential. We will provide training in modern farming techniques, facilitate access to resources and new markets, and promote value chain integration. This project is not just about farming. It's about creating a comprehensive ecosystem for women's economic participation in climate-smart agriculture. Our goal is clear: to produce enough to feed ourselves, but to nourish our nation and the whole of West Africa. All this while empowering our women to be at the forefront of this transformation, which are part of the key elements of the WE national policy.
We have purchased 108 tractors. These tractors are called mini-medium, not mini, not big. So mini-medium, so that we can scale up the activities of our smallholder farm, because there is no labor again. There is nobody to come and clear the farm. You can decide not to use some input, but you must prepare land. So either you get labor or you get a tractor. You ask them here, how many of us can hire tractors as of today with the cost of diesel? So His Excellency has acquired these tractors, and in a very short time, they will be distributed across the state.
Governor Umar Eno of Akwa Ibom State has announced plans to commence construction at the Ibom Industrial Park in August 2024. Governor Eno made this announcement after inspecting the park's site in Itam Itu local government area of the state. The governor highlighted the expedited progress of the project, driven by a special committee led by the secretary to the state government. He also says the committee is expected to present a comprehensive report during the upcoming Finance and General Purpose Committee meeting.
You know, there was a time I came here, we had to demolish. So came here now to see what, let me link what is on the plan that have been put together by our consultants to the physical structure on the ground. I always like to do that, and we've seen that. We've set up a committee made up of all of the ministries that have things to do here, headed by the Secretary to Government, who is also overseeing the Special Duty Ministry for now. And Monday, they'll be making a full presentation, and we'll hold FGPC on Monday and try to approve work to start here. I believe that there's need to keep interpreting our RISE agenda, the vision, and one of it was to work on this industrial park, get it facilitated, get power here, get water here. Once we do that, we can concentrate development in one area that has been earmarked not by my administration, by long administration. I think the administration of Architect Obon Victor Atta. And for me, all of these things are just to look into the books and see how to actualize the vision of our founding fathers that falls in line with our own vision, because the vision must also fall in line with what we are doing.
Governor Doye Diri of Bayelsa State has assured the federal government that the state government is willing to collaborate with the National Park Service following the upgrading of 2 forest reserves in the state to the status of national parks. Governor Diri stated this during the courtesy visit of the Conservator General of Nigeria, Dr. Ibrahim Musa Goni, to the Government House in Agua. The Conservator General reveals that the federal government has approved the upgrade of reserves in Apoi Forest in southern Ijaw local government area and Edumanom Forest in Ogwea and Nembe local government areas to national parks.
The upgrading of Edumeno and Apoi started in 2011, when the Federal Ministry of Environment held its 8th National Council on Environment in Kaduna State. At that council, it was resolved that most states or all states should upgrade their forest and game reserves. So based on this resolution, the National Park Service under the Federal Ministry of Environment routed all the 36 states of the Federation, and responses were collected, and after the responses, an assessment of the forest and game reserves were made. Of the 28 that were assessed, only 12 were found suitable, 2 of which are in Bayelsa State.
Light over the upgrade of the forest reserves, describing the environment as very crucial to human existence, as he also stated that his administration will support the preservation of the environment and take it to its original state.
The underlying factor is that both of them are in Bayelsa State. And so we are happy as a state and as a people, and that's why we welcome you wholeheartedly. And we know that environment is part and parcel of human living. Our environment has been devastated with the discovery of oil and gas in our lands. It has affected our environment in several ways and affected our people in several ways. Very negatively anyway, very, very negatively. And if no conscious efforts are done, the environment is going. And that's why Bayelsa State is very interested in the conference of parties, which is called COP this, COP that, COP. We have always attended across the world because we know that our environment is endangered. And there is no gainsaying the fact that we need to preserve and conserve this environment.
The Chairman, National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, Mr. Ekpo Nta, is advising the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, to explore the possibility of investment as a way of shoring up revenue in order to cater for the development of the region. Mr. Nta says NDDC, as a critical agency of the federal government, must begin to venture into revenue-generating program amidst calls for increased funding of the agency. Addressing journalists on the sideline of a 2-day conference on wage administration, policies, implementation and revenue generation in public agencies organized by NDDC for executive management, he says NDDC must come up with new innovation.
When you have so much money coming into any organization, the tendency is to spend it on frivolous issues. NDDC should be careful not to take over the functions of state governments, of local governments, and concentrate strictly on interstate processes like having train services in the Niger Delta area, committing all the states. It should invest in bonds. You can also invest in Euro bonds. And in terms of skill acquisition and empowerment, which everybody seems to want, you don't need to set up your own. Work with the existing organizations that are handling these processes. And then, more importantly, what you need to be looking at is to have endowment chairs in the various universities so that they can use those particular trust funds to develop human capacity and production. As we speak, NDDC is involved in a lot of providing solar lighting across the Niger Delta areas in this country. My candid advice would be, don't improve other people's economy from outside of Nigeria. Rather than buy and distribute, let us be thinking about setting up a solar power plant that will produce solar panels and the lighting and all those things in Nigeria, particularly in the Niger Delta, and situate those factories and plants in our various polytechnics, so that by the time these children are graduating, they also have the skills of production.
The Akwa Ibom Commissioner of Police, Mr. Wahid Ayilara, has revealed that his men have uncovered an armory in a private mortuary at Ekeya, Okobo local government area of the state. The police chief explains this during a brief with journalists at the state command headquarters in Ikot Akpabio, Uyo, the state capital. He said the operatives stormed the place on intelligence following the arrest of a kidnapped victim. Mr. Ayilara further adds that the syndicate led by wanted kidnapper One Ubong Efyong Achibong was allegedly responsible for the kidnapping and killing of several persons in the state. And that's where we close our Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu.